Yo, what's going on? It's DJ Sus One, the feature presentation radio show. Got a special guest in the building today. Matt Iseman.
Boom!
What's good, bro?
It's my birthday.
Yeah, I was about to say happy birthday.
Which is really cool.
Birthday.
It's really cool. 23rd. It's for me. This is you get checkpoints in your life.
Yes,
and it's really cool for me because in my previous life I was a doctor. I went to med school at Columbia here.
Yeah.
So spent 8 years on the East Coast, and then left to go become a stand-up comedian. And now to be back here on my birthday and be doing shows as a comedian, as a TV host, it's really cool to kind of feel.
I want to say congratulations. Because first
Thank
of all,
you.
Me growing up, my dad's a lawyer.
Right.
Criminal lawyer. So he didn't want me to be in, I don't want to say he didn't want me, but he didn't understand radio.
Right.
He didn't understand being a DJ, and he just didn't get it. And then now he shows me off. So I saw an interview with you where you said that you followed your heart, because most people would have stayed with the doctor.
Yeah.
The doctor job.
Well, when did you, I imagine growing up with a father like that, you felt the pressure in school to succeed academically, to achieve, that was expected around the house.
It's so crazy. I used to cut class and did bad, but I used to go cut class to play chess.
But you were bright.
Yes, very bright.
You had your own mind. You were just creative. I was much more of a rule follower. So for me, I think, I didn't question it growing up. I thought it was you go to school, you achieve, you play sports, you don't do entertainment, because there's no time. And so it wasn't until I got to kind of midway through college and I saw my brother graduate, and there's this crisis of, you don't question the path where it's leading. As you work hard, you think, I'll just get a job, but you don't know what that job's going to be.
Yeah.
And when I started thinking about it, medicine seemed to be the perfect fit. I love science. I loved helping people. I loved being around people. I felt like it was good at it. I saw my dad, who was respected, and I thought, this is the perfect job for me. And so I started doing medicine, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the challenge. But then when I really got into it, and you're really doing a job and you kind of take measure of your life, I realized my heart is not in this. And there's certain jobs you can half-ass, taxi driver, Uber driver, whatever, or, McDonald's or something. But when someone puts their lives in your hands, it's like this sacred trust. And I was just walking around
unhappy
with this guilt. It wasn't even unhappy. It was a guilt that I was pretending to be a doctor, that I wasn't doing these people a service, and I was having trouble sleeping because I felt like I wasn't happy, and more importantly, I thought I'm gonna let a patient down. And so it was just this building feeling of unease, and then it hit me like maybe I'm not meant to do this. And once that realization came, then the hardest part was telling my dad, who was a doctor, because again, like you said, to try to explain to someone.
He was probably so proud of you, like, my son's a doctor, and then you wanted to tell him you were going to be a comedian. He probably didn't understand that.
And he's a professor at the University of Colorado, where I was doing my training. So it's father and son together.
Yeah.
And I sat him down, and it was the hardest conversation I've ever had in my life. And I was just like, I'm not passionate about this. I was thinking of trying something else. I was thinking of trying stand-up comedy just to clear my mind and see. And, I'll probably be back in a year. And my dad just goes, life is short. Do what makes you happy.
Wow. See, applaud your pops.
I'm so lucky, but it's the best advice I've ever gotten. Whenever I tell people, like, what is the thing? It's find that thing. Because I think so many people feel a job should be something onerous. And if you've discovered something that you love, you realize a job isn't a job. It's doing what you're getting paid to do, what you love, which is hard. Exactly. It's hard to do that. You really have to be passionate and work your ass off. But if you can get there, that's the best scenario.
You know what the hardest part is? But you just got to know your destiny. When you love something, it's your destiny. But leaving something that you feel might be a guaranteed check.
It is.
Because comedy and entertainment and DJing, you have to build your way up. You got to do a lot of I'm assuming you did a lot of free things and a lot of...
Yeah. Still, to this day, I say yes to everything. And I can't wait till I get to that point in my career where I can say no. But if somebody calls me and they're like, look, I have 2 people on a podcast, will you do it? I'll say yes. Because you never know if that person's going to turn into the next Mark Maron or Joe Rogan, or they're going to be like Steven Spielberg, or they're going to be a YouTuber. And the other thing is, the 2 people who are listening, one of them might be an influencer, or I might learn something new. I just feel like nothing happens sitting on your couch. So many people think, I'm so talented, people are going to discover me. There are a million talented people. You have to kick the door down and show them.
The hardest working person makes it.
You have to. You have to take every opportunity to show people, and you don't know which one will stick. As I look at my career, I've done a million different things, and I there's no way I could have drawn the path to where I am now. But literally, the first TV hosting job I had in 2004 led to the job I have now in American Ninja Warrior, and part of the reason I think that happened is because every time I get a job, I'll work my ass off like it's the last job I'm ever going to have and try to be a value add so that people say they want to work with me again, because in entertainment, whatever you're doing is going to end. And It's not about this job. It's about the job after. I mean, look at American Idol. Like 10 years ago, that thing was getting 30 million, and then all of a sudden they pull it when it was still one of the highest rated shows. Now they're bringing it back. Will it work? I don't know, but it's this thing of everything ends, so be prepared for the next thing.
I'm glad you say that, because a lot of people in hip-hop don't understand that. But let's play some music real quick. We'll be right back. Matt Iseman is in the building. It's the Feature Presentation Radio Show. It's DJ Sus One, Hip Hop Nation. It's Hip Hop Nation, baby. DJ Sus One. I am in the building. Like this guy right here,
yes.
Matt Iseman.
You know what? I'm always what I really like talking about. I like talking to people who've made their way in unconventional paths, because again, I think there's no one path to success. But but what the universal themes I found are people said yes. They took a dare. And we were talking about it earlier. When you have something certain, I call it like being on an island and you see the ocean out there, and you're never going to get anywhere trying to keep one foot on that island. You're never going to reach your next destination. You got to dive in and you got to swim. And that can be tough because you might not see that island you're swimming to and you might not ever reach it, but you got to enjoy the swim. And that's the thing, I think, if you're really passionate about something, kind of doing it halfway while still on your safe, holding on to your safe job, whatever it was before, being a lawyer, being a doctor, that safe thing, you're never going to get anywhere. You have to let go and throw yourself into it. And that's the scariest part, I think, for people, is to walk away from something that feels safe to live your dream. But I will tell you, if you don't, you will always wonder what could have been.
Exactly. I'm going to change the topic real quick, but I always tell people, based on what you just said, one thing that's guaranteed for everybody is we have to die one day. Don't live your life working for somebody else and not doing your dreams.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. We're going to die. Do you want to live your whole life just doing what doesn't make you happy?
And I say this, and for me it was easier because when I left medicine, I was single. I didn't have a family. I didn't have kids. You know, if you're someone who's home, a single mom or a father or someone who's taking care of kids and providing for your children, I have respect for that. Do what you have to do. But if you're someone who has a chance to pursue your dream, you can't be scared. You gotta just go for it, because there's no secret. When people ask me, like, what's the secret to success? The secret is working harder than anyone and learning and surrounding yourself with people who are better than you are and never giving up and enjoying the journey, because there's no guarantee you're going to reach the destination. Like, I look at my friends who I've been out in LA for 18 years, and the most talented people are all working. Now, they might not be making $20 million a picture, but they're working. They're living, doing what they love because they're good at it and they work to get better at it. And I think it's that kind of thing of, if you're in this for, I want a mansion on the hills or something, that's never guaranteed.
Exactly.
But if you're in it to do something you love and get paid for it, you can do it if you work your ass off.
Speaking of never quitting, let's talk about something that I would have quit a long time. Not the show, actually.
Right.
American Ninja Warriors.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah.
If I was in that show, I don't think I would have made it halfway. I used to watch Double Dare when I was a kid.
Yeah, of course.
And I don't think I could have made it through the Double Dare obstacles. Talk to me about this show, man.
So, for those who don't know, American Ninja Warriors is essentially the world's most difficult obstacle course. And what's different about it, there are a couple things. One is men, women, 4'9" to 6'11", aged now 19 to 77, all compete on the same course. And the other thing that's different is we just finished our 9th season. We've only had one winner in 9 seasons.
Wow.
So it's unlike any other show where every show goes, well, who won? And most of the seasons were like, nobody did. Nobody completed it. And so people think of it as a show of failure, but what I've learned is it's a metaphor for life, in that, like, it's these people aren't competing against each other. They're not even competing against the course. They're competing against themselves. So you'll see someone who'll go out on the first obstacle and come out with a smile on their face going,
I can't believe
there was
did that.
Well, because we had a competitor who the year before had stage 3 breast cancer, was bedridden on chemotherapy. And she's like, I'm not sure if I'm going to live, but if I do, I want to do American Ninja Warrior.
Wow.
So for her to be standing on the starting line meant I'm alive and I'm living out my dream. So when she fell on the first obstacle, she's like, it didn't matter. I couldn't lose. I'd already won being here. And it's this kind of thing you realize where, sometimes we set these goals in life and feel like failures. And you're like, look, if you're doing it, if you're out there living your dream, you're a success. Like, and here's the thing, you're going to get told no a million times in anything you do. But as long as you believe in yourself and you contain that fire, you'll find a way to make it happen. And again, it may not be the way you envision. Like, I thought I was going to be a comedic actor. I end up hosting a game show. I ended up hosting a home makeover show, and now I host a show about ninjas and do stand-up comedy. I didn't draw it up this way, but I am loving it. And again, it came from saying yes to things. I had no idea 9 years ago Ninja Warrior was going to be the show that would give me a house. But
congrats on getting that.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy though, of the thing of, look, I could draw up my plan and tell you what's going to happen, but life laughs, man plans, God laughs. So I just think there's something to throwing yourself into something, saying yes to everything, making connections, treating people well, and never knowing, like, some small project, this person filming me right now could turn into the person who directs the next Marvel movie. And how great would it be?
Don't get gassed, Ron.
But I mean, like, you never know. You never know. And when you're around hungry people, the other thing I say is when you meet someone who brings the best out of you, hold on to them.
Yes.
Because nobody does it alone. And when you find someone who makes you better, work with that person. Find a way to get that person work, because I think that they're the ones who throughout your career you're going to want to be around.
Real quick before we take a break, when American Ninja Warriors is on
NBC. So we're going to be starting up in June. We have the spin-off show that's on the USA Network, American Ninja Warrior, Ninja versus Ninja. That's starting in the spring. We have the live experience. We're touring it, the American Ninja Warrior experience, starting February 10th and 11th. In February, go to anwexperience.com for details.
All right, cool. We're going to take a break real quick. I'm going to see if my fat ass could be on American Ninja Warrior.
Yeah.
It's the feature presentation radio show, baby. It's us one. It's Hip Hop Nation. It's the feature presentation radio show. Featurepresentation.com, by the way. It's DJ Sus One. I'm in the building. Matt Iseman is here.
Yes, DJ.
Yes. I want to talk to you real quick. You do stand-up comedy.
Yes.
Let's have a conversation. Top 5 comedians, in your opinion, of all time.
So we were just talking about this. Eddie Murphy, from the ages of like 21 to 25, like Raw, Delirious, and then
That's my
getting
number
into
one,
like
by the way.
Trading Places and 48 Hours in Beverly Hills Cop. I don't know that anyone was funnier in that 4 to 5 year period than Eddie Murphy was. And to have, that so much of performing, I think, is confidence that comes with time. For him to have been 2021 when he was doing that, I don't know where he had that confidence, but that man was otherworldly funny.
Exactly.
And
so is that your number one slot?
I think probably growing up, he was the guy who made me laugh more than anyone. Right, Brian Regan is my stand-up comedian who I really love. I grew up very early on listening to Steve Martin, and what I liked was he was a guy who did things totally differently and taught you that you don't have to be what you've heard before, which is, I think, it's funny because you listen to Steve Martin now and it sounds so, hack and overdone. And that's only because he was so original that he changed it.
Steve Martin was classic. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Oh my God!
There was a movie that a lot of people forgot.
The Jerk was great.
The Jerk, The Man with Two Brains, which was a silly movie. Like
Dr. Hart. Yes.
Yeah. No, trust me, I love Steve Martin.
Steve
one of my
Martin
favorites.
was great. Richard Pryor as a comedian was such a beast and such a guy who brought, I think, true storytelling, which is something like, even to this day, I struggle with the honesty that Richard Pryor had on stage back in the 70s.
You know what's so funny? A lot of people say, including Eddie, that Richard Pryor is the GOAT. And I'm not taking that away from him.
Yeah.
But Eddie Murphy, to me, in my opinion, people are gonna hate on me for this, but
it's your age, though. I think it's the kind of thing of, if you didn't live through it and see it happen. Again, it's like going back and watching the original Star Wars movies. When we watched them when we were 5, they were transformative. They took us to a different universe. But like you watch the new Star Wars movies, which may technically be better. I'm 47. It doesn't take me on the same experience. It can't. So, you know, I think it's kind of like, I felt I was a little young for Richard Pryor. In hindsight, watching him, I appreciate as a comedian how great he was. But Eddie Murphy was the one who I remember kind of when I was 13, 14, 15, seeing this guy and being like, this is when I'm discovering comedy and this is the king, which is why he has that space. So I think so much of it is like, you know, the music you grow up with. Like I grew up with Journey and Def Leppard, and those songs still make me feel like making out on a dance floor with a girl, because those were the ones that I became a man to, sort of puberty, whatever.
So Richard Pryor was number 4.
Yeah.
Who's number 5?
Let's see. So, you know who right now I just love? Bill Burr. I think what Bill Burr has done, because what I love about Bill Burr is as a comedian, I think you always struggle to find your voice. And Bill Burr's a guy who's been doing a podcast now for 6-7 years. And to see him grow as a comedian to where now he does his podcast all alone and it's just him ranting. But in doing so, I think he has honed in on his voice more so than just about any other comic right now. So when he's talking, he's got this character, this miserable character who knows he's miserable. You're in on the joke with him. And I just think what he's done is amazing, because he's found his sweet spot. He's found who he is. And once you've done that, it doesn't matter what you talk about. Bill will make it funny. And so I'm really enjoying watching Bill Burr, because I felt like you just watched a guy. It's like Neo when he realized he was the one. Like, oh, yes, I can do anything now with comedy.
By the way, for everybody listening, not Neo the singer, Neo from The Matrix.
Oh, I like Neo too. You make me better. I like that. That was
real quick before we take another break. You didn't mention these two guys, but I want to know who you think is better, and I'll tell you who I think is better. But let me say the same names. Let me say the names: Dave Chappelle or Kevin Hart. Now, I'm going to say before he answers, and no disrespect, because Kevin Hart, liking, great guy, positive, making great movies, but I think Dave Chappelle is the better comedian, stand-up comedian. Yeah,
Chappelle, I think, focused on it more, and almost in that Kurt Cobain fashion of just diving off, walking away from 50 million made him legendary.
Yes.
Kevin Hart, I think Chappelle also has the advantage of focusing exclusively on comedy. And as someone who knows how hard it is to craft jokes, for Kevin Hart to be dominating comedy, I think he's the #1 touring act.
Yeah, he's by far
and dominating the box office and creating a Nike brand. I mean, he has his own Nike fitness workout. He's creating his own line of protein. He's becoming, like Dwayne Johnson, a brand. So I give Kevin Hart the credit for, look, on stage, yeah, I agree. Chappelle's the better comedian, but overall, Kevin Hart, he's a business man. I mean, he's doing it all. And his hustle is otherworldly. I give him so much credit, because he's made enough money for 10 lifetimes.
Yes.
And I think he's hungrier than ever for it. And I love people like that who are just like, I want to be great. I want to be everywhere, and I want to do everything. And he's like seizing his moment. And I think a lot of it comes from desperation and the fear of tomorrow I could wake up and people could be done with me. So I need to do everything I can right now. Exactly. I mean, I don't think people understand that. When you see that hustle, I think, comes from fear. And, there are probably a lot of sleepless nights for Kevin where he's like, what else can I be doing? What can I do in the next movie? When, Jumanji's like one of the largest movies of all time.
It's made over 700 million so far.
I mean, and I'm sure Kevin's getting a little pretty penny from that. He's the #1 touring act. He's got his own shoes. He's set, but he's still hungry. And I love that. I mean, that's the goal. That's the inspiration, right? Is to be able to do it all, do it at the highest level, and do it on your terms. And that's what he's doing.
Matt Iseman is in the building. It's DJ Sus won the feature presentation. We will be right back. By the way, happy birthday again.
Thank you.
All right, Tip Hop Nation. It's the Feature Presentation Radio Show. TheFeaturePresentation.com, by the way. It's Hip Hop Nation. DJ Sus won. Matt Iseman is in the building. Man.
Yes.
So you have an Instagram basically show. I can't say TV show. You have like an Instagram
show. Yeah. Well, so, this again came from, as we've been talking about the hustle. So look, I'm on American Ninja Warrior. We have a spinoff show. We have a live tour coming, but that accounts for 40 days out of the year. I'm doing stand-up comedy, but nobody knows. I've been doing stand-up comedy for 20 years. The majority of people who watch me on Ninja or who saw me win Celebrity Apprentice didn't know I was a comedian. So a part of it is educating them that I'm funny. And so social media is the tool through which you can reach people. So my buddy and I came up with this show, Don't Embarrass Me. It's essentially Impractical Jokers, but we were just like, you can get on Instagram, you can add a friend in, and my buddy's in Nashville, and I'll be wherever, and we just challenge each other to do ridiculous things.
Is it? I haven't watched it yet. I'm gonna watch it later.
Yeah.
Is it? Because I saw that you guys humiliate each other. Is it like Jackass kinda?
No. It's much more Impractical Jokers, where we're not getting kicked in the nuts. It's like you have to go up to this guy and go, wait. High school, right? I mean, my brother was at school with you and convinced them.
Okay.
You have to convince them. Or the wedding. Oh my God, my sister Nancy, right? Didn't you go to school with her? And Nancy Gertz? Yes, Nancy Gertz, come here. And you have to like get them to hug you. Just ridiculous stuff like that where you're embarrassing yourself because then some people will be like, you're creepy.
I'm going to go up to a girl. I got to be part of the show. I'm going to go up to a girl and be like, remember that night? Me and you?
Yeah, it's honestly, it's just the kind of thing of people like to watch other people embarrass themselves. My buddy and I love doing it to each other. But it's that thing of when you're sitting there in the middle of the day, why not be doing something that might raise attention? Why not be doing something that's creative? Why not be doing something that gets you better for the next gig? Because it's that thing of I look at everything I do is an opportunity. Like I had no idea this interview was going to be this phenomenal. Like you've done your homework.
I'm one of the greatest of all time.
No, but it's really cool. Like, what I do love talking about is success and hearing people's different paths to it. Because here's the thing: there's no one path to success. And people think I'm going to follow Steve Jobs. It's like, no, you're not. You're going to follow your own path, but you learn from everybody. But the key is, I just love people who found their passion and are pursuing it. And that's one of the cool things I think being in entertainment is we're surrounded by people who are living a dream, who really took the chance, who walked away from a father who's a lawyer, a father who's a doctor, and we're out here doing things that people would say, this is ridiculous. You're making a living on the radio, and you're like, and I couldn't be happier doing this.
Yeah, I really like, I interview everybody, but I really like your energy because you're like a mix between comedy and Obama.
Tony Roberts!
Comedy and Obama.
Obama, yeah.
You're like hope, but I'm going to make you laugh.
Well, it's again, I know how fortunate I am that I got some breaks. I got on shows, and the shows have worked. But I always figure every year is going to be the last show. So I'm looking what's going to be next. So I treat everybody there with respect because they could be the EP on the next show, or try to. Yeah. Listen, I'm sure there's lots of video of me being a total dick that could come out and people would be like, this guy, I know. I'm not perfect. I have total asshole moments. There are times I'm a jerk. I'm not always positive. There are times I'm pissed or angry. I got let go from the Hallmark Channel. It hurt my feelings. I was sad. But you're like, you know what? Overall, I'm going to keep moving forward. I'm going to learn and I'm going to be great. Like when they fired me, I said, I'm disappointed, but I'm much more grateful for the opportunity because I genuinely left with some really good friends. And I just kind of feel like, you can throw a napalm bomb at somebody as you leave, but 6 months later they might go, we have a show and that guy was perfect, but forget him. He torched me when he went out. So I just think it's a marathon, and I just, when I meet someone whose energy I like, you just try to stay in touch with them and say, hey, if I can ever help you, I find that helping people is a good way to get help.
It brings good karma.
And it makes connections, and you never know where it leads to, and it makes you feel good because sometimes, again, what we do is such a self-centered profession. We focus on ourselves so much that it's nice to periodically try to help others. Or like on Apprentice, I have rheumatoid arthritis. I got to work for the Arthritis Foundation. So I've done a lot of charity work. And it's good to do that stuff just again, because sometimes you're like, I get flown around to talk about ninjas and get paid ridiculous amounts of money. I'm doing stand-up comedy. I'm in New York City on my birthday because I chose to be, and I get to do that. And I know how lucky I am, and that's why I'm so happy. I'm so happy to be on my birthday doing what I love, rather than, like, I think if I'd never taken that step, I could be in a hospital right now, saving a life, doing something important, but I think inside I wouldn't be fulfilled.
I get it.
Which sounds awful that I'm more fulfilled here talking about me with you than I am saving lives. But I believe this is what I was meant to do, is to try to entertain. So I love it.
In closing,
yes.
What do you want to do that you haven't done yet coming in the future?
I have no idea. You know, I used to think I wanted to be a movie star, but honestly, I want to reach more people. For me, it's comedy. It's Ninja's been great, and it's inspirational. It's earnest, but I'm not funny on the show. Nobody knows I'm funny. And I think I want to reach more people with my comedy, and have a comedy special. Other than that, I don't know. I hope it's something amazing though.
Well, I wish you luck. You already killing
it.
Thanks,
DJ Sussman.
American Ninja Warriors, NBC.
Yeah.
Got the Instagram. What's the name of the Instagram?
At Matt Iseman. Everything's at Matt Iseman. MATTISEMAN. Twitter, Insta, Facebook, Snapchat, all of it. I spend the rest of the day I'm going to be on there talking about all of this because it's my birthday. So what else am I going to do?
Nice. Happy 23rd birthday. It's the feature presentation. Thank you for coming to the show, bro.
My pleasure.
I love your energy. It's very inspiring.
Likewise.
Matt Iseman, DJ Sussman, the feature presentation. It's Hip Hop Nation.